right, welcome, everybody. My name is Tony Kimball, and I am your host for Transforming Lives. Our mission is allowing people from our community to share their stories to encourage others to live a transformed life. This is episode number 2. All right, guys, and I have my second guest on tonight. I have Principal Jennifer Gaston on, and we're just talking with genuine people with real lives. So, Miss Gaston, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Thank you. I am doing great. How are you tonight?
I'm well. So, our topic tonight is just talking about transforming lives. But the thing is, I got a couple of questions tonight, and I'm sure those that are viewing it, they probably, some of them may know some of the answers to it, and y'all don't put nothing in no comment box, those answers to it. But I want to consider some of the other viewers that are out there. Tonight, we want to make this a educator's edition. Okay, I have an educator on. She's a principal. So I just want to go through a couple of questions tonight. The first thing, I want to ask you, tell us about Jennifer Gaston growing up. Tell us about it.
Well, Mr. Kimball, once again, I do want to thank you for inviting me to share on tonight. That's got to be one of the hardest questions that you'll have for me tonight. Okay. But about Jennifer Gaston growing up, let's see, I grew up in small town Oakland, big town Oaktown, Mississippi. I was the oldest in the household, the oldest child in the household, little sister, little brother, hardworking, caring parents. We had a huge emphasis on family and a huge emphasis on the church and spirituality. So I would say I had a really good childhood. I learned a lot. Coming up, I always called my parents strict, but now being a parent, I can understand why they did a lot of what they did. So I am grateful. Right. But I guess in a nutshell, that's Jennifer Gaston growing up.
Right. So definitely we see that our parents shape our lives and shape definitely. And we're thankful. I'm there with you too.
I'm very thankful.
Now we got kids and like, oh yeah, you were doing that for that reason. I get it now.
Yeah, right.
So we've looked at you growing up. Let the viewers know, tell us about where did you graduate from? I'm excited about that. And how has that shaped you?
Well, I graduated from Coffeyville High School, dear OCHS, go Pirates.
Woo woo, Pirate Nation.
Pirate Nation all day, every day. And I'm a proud graduate of Coffeyville High School. Even though it is a small school, it is a school full of character and a community full of character, a community full of heart. And I must say that, a lot of the people in there, they worked hard. They pushed us to prepare us for life outside of Coffeyville. We may not have known it at that time, but, when I look back to see what the things that we had, the different clubs that we were a part of, the different types of conflict resolutions, all of those things helped to shape me into the person that I am today and the person that I have transformed into thus far. So I am grateful. Once again, small school, small community, but all of it works together to make a big picture, and a big picture that you can be proud of. So I am, once again, Coffeyville Pirate proud.
All right. So that's just hearing how the small town really has shaped your view. I want to pause a moment because I did not tell the viewers, which is very important. Ms. Jennifer Gaston is the principal of Coffeyville Elementary School, located in Coffeyville, Mississippi. I think that's important for you to know. She's repping her school district. So I failed to tell you that. So I want to pause a moment to let everybody know that you are homegrown and you've come back to your town and you are providing it from a different realm. So you attended the University of Mississippi as an undergrad. Will you tell us, what was it like transitioning from, you told us a small school, small town. Tell us about that transition from high school to college, because a lot of times people kind of overlook that. Can you help the listeners out with that?
Definitely. The high school from the transformation or the change from high school to college. I'm not going to sit here and say that it was easy because I would be, I'm going to be honest and straightforward. It was not an easy transition because, first of all, as I said earlier, Coffeyville, Oakland, Scobie, Tillatoba, the whole school district is so small. So everyone is so tight knit and close knit. And, when you transition to a university, that's not always the case, which it was not the case for me when I came to the University of Mississippi. I came into the university as an accounting major. And, honestly, I did not know a lot about accounting because, once again, coming from a small place, we weren't offered that
Right.
at the time. And so I just knew that I loved math and I knew that I liked taxes. And so I said, okay, well, I'll do accounting
Right.
because I think accountants make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so when I came to school, to the university, I think I learned the second time that I took my first accounting course that it was not going to be that easy.
Okay.
And so it was a transition because, going through that period of time, I learned that, okay, Jen, you're going to have to study. You're going to have to ask questions because, I was always quiet. And I thought I would kind of just go into the university and do the same thing. However, the challenge was a much bigger challenge. And so, that second time around, I did decide I'm going to stay with this because this is a goal that I've set and I'm going to work to meet my goal. This is a setback. It was a disappointment, but it was a setback. And so I did continue to press towards that goal. I did have some support systems in place that were very important. I was a part of the Women's Council, the Lot Leadership Institute. I had Steps to Success. So there were a lot of support systems in place for me. But, once again, I came in as a quiet person, but I did learn that, okay, you got to open your mouth. Right. They said a closed mouth doesn't get fed. Right, and so if I want to get fed, I have to open my mouth. I have to ask questions. I'm going to have to reduce some of these hours that I'm working because, even though I was a college student, I wanted my money then too. And so right. One of the disadvantages maybe was that the school was still close to Coffeyville, which was where I worked. And so I was traveling home 3 days a week to go to work and then the weekend. So I missed out of a lot of the experience that year. But, everything, when you look at it as a whole, everything is a learning experience. And so while the transition was not easy, it was a lesson and it was a blessing. And it helped shape me thus far.
Right. Thank you for, being transparent because people, those that are going to college now or maybe in college, sometimes we just feel like we're isolated and we're the only person in the world that are going through this. Yes. And we need to hear things like this to help understand that, look, this came up, but look, you got to keep going.
That's right.
You got to keep going. So, definitely thank you for, letting us know about that, that, although you said it's a lesson, but you said it's going to turn out to be a blessing. So that's powerful. So tell us, did the Jen, years ago teaching math. So we're going to transition. So we've gone from, high school, college, accounting major. Now that the Jennifer years ago teaching math at Coffeyville Elementary, see herself being a principal of that school. Tell us about that.
The Jennifer that started out teaching math at Coffeyville Elementary because deep in her heart, she always wanted to be a teacher, but she felt like teachers didn't make the money, which, over the course of time, you learned it's not about the money. It's about the children and the students and the impact that you would love to make. Right. To answer that question, I did not. I never thought I would be a principal. And, I didn't even know that I would be a good teacher. Thank you for much of the support that you provided me back at that time. I'll get that book back to you at some point. But I did not see myself. I probably said at that time, I would never be a principal. But the way things work, when I did get hired in to be a teacher, the superintendent at that time told me, now your aunt is one of the greatest math teachers around. I'm going to need you to come in and do the same thing. And so once again, my goal was to come in and do the same thing. And so, I had a lot of learning to do because I did not have the formal teacher preparation. I did go alternate route. And so I had a Bachelor of Accountancy. So everything I knew was accounting. So I had to regroup my mind to influence young people. And so, no, I did not think I would be a principal. But, as the years went on, as time went by, I was pushed a little bit more out of my comfort zone. I took a couple of additional trainings. I did a lot of professional development, and I did a lot of studying on how to become a better teacher. And so during that time, I wanted to share my wealth and my knowledge with other teachers. And so then I did decide that I would like to do leadership. However, the leadership role that I would take would be curriculum and instruction, because I did have a great love for, exploring deeper into the curriculum, exploring deeper into how to reach children, exploring into how to overcome the challenges that every teacher faces within their classes. I had a great interest in that. And so the role that I took led me to curriculum and instruction. But once again, it was only for a short period of time. So I did not see myself becoming a principal, but maybe a teacher leader.
Right. And I didn't put this in here, but you got my brain going now. I need to let the listeners know this. I need to let the listeners know this right here. Principal Gaston was and still is a dynamic teacher. And let me tell you what, of course, we had this dynamic that was going on. She taught, in some cases, 6th and 7th or 7th, and I taught 8th. And then our aunt, Miss Covington, taught Algebra 1. I can remember this. I would, as an 8th grade instructor, a teacher, I can remember students coming in. Miss Gaston taught me that. I already know that. Miss Gaston taught me that. Gaston already taught us that. We learned that last year, Miss Gaston.
Those were my babies. I missed them.
You don't teach it like Miss Gaston. Oh, okay. All right. So I need to let the listeners know that unless you're in education, and I think that educators can attest to this, to have that dynamic going on, to know you talking about, I push you, you push me, because I knew that I had to be on the front, because the kids already got the stuff last year, so I don't need to be teaching. So it pushed me more. And I want to mention this, and we'll get back into the questions. I want to mention the the impact we had when you spoke about professional development,
Mm-hmm.
Project Prime, Project Delta.
Yes, yes.
Uh, that was, you know, that was life changing for me. Uh, could you just couple of sentences talk about that professional development? I just hit
Most
me to have that down.
definitely,
Yeah,
definitely. I tell a lot of my teachers today, I tell my sister, who's in education as well, but she's English. So I'm not sure of where exactly to send her, but I tell everyone, had it not been for CMSE at the University of Mississippi, that Project Delta 2, the Project Prime, the C4s, all of those projects, I would not have been the teacher that I was, because and again, that was another group that you introduced me to. Thank you. But after my first year teaching, I decided then, hey, I have to do some things different this next year. And so that summer, it was, you did have to give up your time. You have to sacrifice time. But if you have something and you want it bad enough, you have to sacrifice time. Time is one of the smaller things that you can sacrifice to become what you desire to become. And that first summer, it opened my door. It opened my eyes and my brain. And although I was getting ready to give birth, I could not wait to have my child so I could go back into that classroom and do some of the things that I had learned. And so CMSE, I mean, it was great. I encourage people all the time to take advantage of professional development. But that professional development and those professional developments for me were life changing.
Right. Yeah. I don't see how I forgot all that. That definitely needs to be pointed out.
Yeah.
And the presenters, the developers of that, yeah, they definitely, and I think I can speak for both of us, are saying that changed. I said all the time, it changed how I saw math education. Changed it.
Right.
So yeah, I went left, but let's get.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I think that's important when we're talking about
yes.
When we're talking about transformation, we need to talk about when did things change? When was it change?
Right.
So my next question is, what is a transformed life in regard to a career path? Maybe there's someone on that's kind of, in the situation where, maybe they've gone in a different route in terms of getting a degree, and then they've gone and becoming maybe an educator.
Mm-hmm.
What does that look like? Share with the listeners when you talk about a transformed life.
When I think about a transformation career-wise, first of all, when I think of the word, excuse me, when I think of the word transformation, I think of a change.
Right.
And in order for a change to occur, you have to be willing to do what it takes for that change to occur. And oftentimes we're afraid, sometimes we let others hold us back. Sometimes we worry about what someone is going to say, but they're going to say things regardless.
Right.
You have to want that change, and you have to be willing to do the things that come along with taking that change. Right. And so, and this is not even just directed at college or, education. This is anywhere, any field that you may be working in. At the end of the day, don't get too comfortable, because you never know what's waiting for you down the road. As I told you, when is the last time you saw me go live and show my face? Never.
Thank you.
But, at the end of the day, you can't be afraid, because you never know when something is preparing you for your next challenge, or for your next break, or for the next impact you may make on someone's life. And so, regardless of what it is you're doing, regardless of your career path, you can still be in high school, you can still be in elementary school, regardless of where you are. Don't get too comfortable, because there could be a change along the way. If someone comes to you and asks you to do something that you're not comfortable with, which
Right.
I have gotten a lot over the last few years. But, as I look back, I can say that, some of this prepared me for this,
Right.
and so you never know when there's something that you're going through that's preparing you for the next step. So that's my thoughts on, in regards to transformation and the career path.
Right. And I agree, like you never know. Like it doesn't make sense. But as you spoke about earlier, it seems as though it's a lesson, but it was just preparing you for,
Mhm.
now.
That's right. That's right.
It doesn't seem like it. You're like, man, what's going on?
Hmm. Hmm.
But it's to strengthen you for a point in time. So
That's right.
definitely agree with you on that one. So another question, what can you say to viewers, even educators, to encourage them to go for their dreams and, go after that transformation? Like, you know, speak to us about that, just going after your dreams and you kind of touched on it now, but just going after your dreams.
I would still, as I said earlier, just don't get comfortable. Excuse me. And don't be afraid, because you never know what's waiting. Once again, sometimes you may not understand why, um, but sometimes it may be because you haven't determined your why, which was something else that brought to my attention back when we were talking about travel years ago. What is your why? I hadn't ever really thought about it that way, but why do you wake up every day? Are you achieving, what you set out to achieve? Why do you do this? Why do you do that? Why do you go to bed at this time? What is your why? And are you there yet? Are you doing what you need to get to that point? So you never know. I never make just rash decisions, without first consulting the good Lord, because he does guide my every footstep. But my support system, my family, my excuse me, my pastor, I have my family. I have a lot of a huge support system that I'm very thankful for. And so, for everyone that's out there, use your support systems, and don't be afraid of change, because that change could be the one change, or the next to the last change, or it could be one of those changes that you need in your life to actually achieve your why.
Wow. That's amazing. You just never know. And to say 2007, 2008, 2009, that we were in the classroom, in the classroom,
Mhm.
Coffeyville Elementary School, teaching kids,
That's
to
right.
say that life has transitioned to this point right here. We
Right.
couldn't, we would definitely have to say it's the Lord, because we couldn't plan none of this stuff out.
Exactly.
It's
Not
just
at
not
all.
possible. I do want to let you know that your sister did make a comment. I know you may not be able to see it right now, but your sister did make a comment, and that your pastor said, hey. So
Hey, Pastor Hawkins. Hey,
just to let
Kim.
you, just to let you know that there are people on that are watching that are definitely here to support you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
We are wrapping this up, but I got two last questions that I got for you.
Okay.
Uh, Almost 2 minute blitz. So, what are you reading now? Let the viewers know, what are you reading?
Right now I am reading What Great Principals Do Different. I'm actually participating in a book study, and I must say I am loving this book. I read a chapter and I sit back and I go through, I highlight, and I have to let it digest. And I have to look at what can I use, because I'm all about trying to get better. How can I get better? Because if I feel like I'm as good as it gets, then I probably need to move on somewhere else. But so, I'm all about how can I get better. So I'm really loving this book, What Great Principals Do Different by Todd Whitaker.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Definitely, definitely. Yes, that's a great book. Next one. What's 3 words you want to leave with the viewers that are looking at that are on right now? I'm looking at this feed over here. I'm listening, but I'm looking. I'm telling you, your classmates are on here. All these
classmates. Thank y'all for your support.
So I'm sorry. 3 words you want to leave with the viewers tonight.
3 words I would like to leave with the viewers tonight would, first of all, be path, and that would intertwine with your goals. What are your goals? And are you following a path that's going to lead you to your goals? Secondly, I would like to leave the word positive, because sometimes you may get wrapped up in so much negative energy, and you don't realize that energy, energy is powerful. Mm-hmm. And if you're around negative energy, that can bring you down and take you off your path quicker than anything. So be positive. Surround yourself with positivity. Surround yourself with positive thoughts, positive people, so that you can continue on your path. And my last word would be polite. Be polite. You don't ever know what people are going through. Right. Right. You really don't. Some people wear a smile to cover a cry. And you might just be the person to make that other person feel like, it's worth it. So be polite. It may be difficult sometimes, but be polite.
Thank you so much for agreeing to come on. So I know this is
it was difficult.
This was a major moment here, guys. I got her on. And we thank you for what you do for the community of not only Coffeyville, the community of Oakland, Scobie, Tillatobi. I'm gonna throw in that Benwood, all Airmount, all of them. You definitely have had an impact on me, believe it or not, you have. So again, we're just looking at genuine people with real lives. Thank you so much for sharing. I'm more than positive that you said something that will have an impact on somebody. I salute you on the lives that you're changing in your elementary school and in the school district that you're in. Thank you so much. Go Pirates.
Thank you. Thank you again. Go Pirates.
And this concludes our session tonight. See us next week as I bring on Brian Danforth will be our guest for next week. Thank you, Miss Principal Gaston. I can't even say Jean. Principal Gaston for coming on tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. This concludes our session for tonight. Y'all have a great one.